Sanjay, I want to come back to you from a victim's perspective. This is just galling, right? I mean, I just keep thinking, like, for the rest of us, okay, we're arguing this as, we're looking at it through geopolitics. For you, this is personal.
Yes.
It's personal.
Yes, it is. It's well, one is heartbreaking because I can literally see my baby sister, and in all these things. And you're right, and Daniel is right. The World Sikh Organization are the same guys who stood up in New York at the inaugural conference and said, in return for for the riots in Delhi, we will kill 50,000 Hindus. Parmar was there, Bagri was there, and Parmar said, we will let planes fall from the sky. These are the same guys who are now being called Sikh leaders and Sikh freedom fighters. I just saw the notice celebrating, commemorating Parmar's life on the 20th of October at the Sarai Gurdwara. I mean, it's shocking. This guy was killed by the Punjab police with ISI agents in Punjab, in his village in 92. He'd crossed the border after he'd bombed Kanishka, after he'd killed scores of policemen. This guy is a terrorist. I mean, out and out. Here you've got Nijjar, who's photographed in an ISI camp with the killer of Beant Singh in Pakistan, and they're celebrating these lives of these guys. It's I have no words.
What would you do you think somewhere we as a state, not as a government, have not gone hammer and tong in the way we should have on Kanishka?
Absolutely.
On Khalistanis operating out of North America and Canada in general?
Barkha, I'll tell you this. I was interviewed by a Canadian channel not too many days ago, and they wondered why India had never made an issue of this in 40 years. We've really never taken it up. And I'll tell you why. Because I've spoken to about 5 prime ministers personally. I've been close to some of them. I have pleaded for a memorial. I have pleaded for the government to take action along with other families. We've met ministers in the UPA who were related to some of the people who died. I don't want to name them today, but I know of ministers in the UPA who had family members in this bombing. And, the governments were worried because, remember, the politics behind it was very strong in those years. The Sikh parties had great control over various governments, and people didn't want to offend or poke the bear and raise the Khalistan issue again. But we should have taken this to its logical end. We as a country, we didn't.
Please. I think Taveen wanted to comment. Taveen, yeah.
Please.
I want to just make it clear that the Sikhs had no control over the Congress governments. All right. Nobody suffered a massacre like the Sikhs did under the Congress. So that is not the reason why they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything because they were inefficient and they were unable to do anything. They should have been more efficient. The Congress government, it is scandalous that after 1985, the story of the Air India crash just died. That, the victims, there was not even a memorial, really. It was allowed to die. But that's got nothing to do with the Sikhs having any power over the governments that came after 1985. I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, Sanjay, you link it to larger politics of the Sikh community. I think what Tavleen is saying is inefficiencies or muted responses of government cannot be put on the Sikhs.
No, I don't. I will correct myself. Please, I differentiate between, the Khalistanis who did this and the Sikhs. But obviously, I have spoken to BJP Prime Minister. I have spoken to a Congress Prime Minister, a UPA Prime Minister, and somebody who's a very prominent legal luminary who was in a UPA government, who's lost a niece in this bombing. They all expressed helplessness. Maybe it's inefficiency. I went with a group. We went with a group, the pilot's wife. We went to Delhi. We only pleaded for a memorial. We didn't want justice we fought for on our own. We hired our own lawyers. We went to the criminal trial. I went to Vancouver. I attended them. All the family members did. I went for the inquiry. I was a witness before John Major. I did everything. I still do. And I still follow up. We wanted a memorial for our families. 7 prime ministers have ignored it. Finally, this current prime minister in the first term listened to it but couldn't give it to us, gave us a small plaque inside the Air India complex in Kalina, which is a secure area where nobody else but...
What is the problem with the memorial? I mean, what do they say?
I have no clue. Nobody gives us a straight answer. But that's what I mean.
It's shocking. It really is shocking.
We let it go. We just let this go. I'm not, and unfortunately, Barkha, unfortunately, a lot of Khalistani radicals in Canada use this as an argument to say we didn't do it, your Indian government did it. And that's the shameful thing. For me, I know that's not the truth. For all of us families, for Daniel, for people who've been through the chain of, if you read their rubbish books that they're producing in Canada, which is why I've made it my, my duty to correct the wrongs. The facts should come out, and we don't
Yeah.
want to talk about them.